We're live. Okay. Guys, we're back. This is it's technically 3. Episode 2 we filmed, but we're not going to release that one for a few reasons. But we have a special guest today. Tabby Knight, thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you. We thought the dynamics would be a little bit different having another female apart from Jarvis on the show. So, I'm just kidding. And Tabby's a gun in her own right, and I heard good things about her, so I thought let's get her on board. But Jarvis, you been well?
Been well. Been
busy as always?
Very busy as always, but been productive. So
and Jake, I was with you a bit last week.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just busy, man. Same old.
Jake took me through a glute workout for a bit at the gym. And my ass is still sore. One of those girls have big asses. So this podcast, Anything But Macros, there's so much content with fitness people talking about how to stay in shape and the food and the training, but we wanted to get away from a bit of that and talk about real life stuff with people who are doing business, inspire you, and just, locals from Melbourne. So we had a few questions come in. Mm-hmm. We've collated 9 questions today. We'll talk a bit of crap at the end if we need to, but we'll get straight into it. But Tabby, firstly, a little bit of introduction on yourself. Mm-hmm. So I first heard about you and saw your Instagram. Might have just seen it scrolling, and then Gus, who you're friends with, he spoke really highly of you. Mm-hmm. And then I saw you at his party, do you remember? And I said hi.
Yeah.
I said, hey, Gus speaks really highly of you. So he said good things, and then I actually saw.
What the fuck was the invite?
What the fuck? Yeah, this is a while ago actually. And then
Gus's cut, no more Gus.
Then I actually saw you on a podcast and said you were making heaps of money as a coach. And I actually sent it to my girlfriend. I go, babe, check this girl out. She's killing it. She's doing really well as an online coach. So I thought it could inspire a few people, because there's a lot of people that are trying to do coaching, and you're probably up there with, top tier, one of the best coaches doing what you're doing. So thanks for coming on board. Did you want to give us a bit of background about how you got into fitness and what you into coaching and things like that?
Yeah, I'd love to. Well, I grew up obviously in just a fitness fanatic kind of household, like as we sort of all do. Everyone, comes into the industry in like different kind of circumstances, but I feel like in a way, not like I was forced into it, but I sort of had no other option with like my family being like involved. It was kind of like just very natural for me to be in the gym, be training. And as I was growing up, I was competing overseas as like a gymnast, and I had fractured my lower back, which obviously what you guys won't know, but when you're a gymnast, like once you kind of reach the age of like 15, if you haven't made it by then, like you're done. And I remember I fractured my back when I was 14, and I kind of at this point was like, okay, my school had told me I can either keep training, but if I keep training, my school would have to kick me out, or I can stay at school and I would have to stop training. And at that point I was injured too. I kind of realized I'm not going to make any money off this. I'll start doing rehab, get into the gym. The first gym that I signed up at was a bodybuilding gym. And
how old were you then?
I was 15. So
wow.
I started training in the gym when I was 15, and I started straight away with the coach. So I feel like I never went through that phase that was like the unknown. Yeah. I always had someone there, but that's
a big blessing.
It is. And I think it's a good thing of,
it's a lot of time not wasted.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think it was a good thing. My parents, as soon as they said, yep, I'm cool for you to go to the gym, but I want you to do it properly so you don't develop bad habits, which I actually am very thankful that they did that for. And yeah, the gym that I signed up at was a bodybuilding gym, and they sort of got me into the industry I did my Cert 3-4 as well. Like when I was only 18, I was only still just finishing school, but at that time I definitely didn't want to be a coach. But I knew I wanted to compete. So I knew I wanted to compete when I was 16, because it was like the next step for me. And obviously COVID hit. I was at uni. I stopped doing uni because I was like, I'll do my Cert 3-4 during that time. Like I may as well fill the space. And it all sort of just happened all in one. It wasn't just like a luck thing. It was like just COVID happened. I had nothing else to do. I studied. I got my certification, and then I was like, yep, I'm going to take people online. And then at that time, like online coaching wasn't a big thing. So great in the sense that yes, I was out there online coaching when not a lot of people were. And during COVID, when people were vulnerable, they couldn't be in the gym anymore. So it was nice that I sort of had that accessibility for people to come to me. But then you saw this like massive influx of coaches in the next few years, and it was kind of like, okay, I'm not the only one now. Like now it's getting competitive. So
There's 3 of you here.
yeah, I guess that's how I got into coaching. And the competing side of things, that was something I always knew. Like my mum had competed. I knew that it was
Okay.
what I wanted to do. Like,
In the
That's
family.
where you say it came from the family.
yeah, it wasn't just like I woke up and was like, I want to compete.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So you're a gymnast, which would have taught you a lot of discipline, and your mum has competed too, and you're kind of just born to compete.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I'm always been someone, I'm sure you guys too, like I need a goal there and I need something to focus on. And competing is one of those things where it's not like you do, I mean, some people, but it's not like you do one show and then that's it. It's like you do one show, yeah, but what next? Like you got to get better for the next one. And it's just like one after the other after the other. But I love that because I'm like, I can continuously work. I'm not just like ticking a box and then there's
Done with it.
I'm done with it. Yeah, I'm not going to be satisfied after one show. I like
think
that I
that's
can
a
keep
competitive
working.
athlete, not just everyone. Because a lot of people like to compete, do it, and then they're
Just
just
say they've done it.
say they've done
Yeah.
it, and they're just done a 360.
That's when you know.
But I
you're
think that's how
competitive,
you know if it's for you or if
yeah,
it's not
definitely.
too.
So yeah, definitely
Yeah.
a competitive athlete for sure.
So you competed. You got your pro card.
No, I just
yet.
missed out.
Oh, I thought you did. My apologies.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have done more research. Yeah. I thought you were a pro. Base.
She looks like one.
Can we impose some of her absolutely shredded photos from her Instagram on the screen now for the viewers? Because a lot of my viewers won't know you, and these guys too. So you'll be seen by a lot of different people. I know what it takes to get lean.
Tabby at 20 was probably had one of the best amateur
Yeah,
physiques.
freaky. So whack
In
that on the
Australia.
screen
How
now.
old are you now?
And
22.
22.
Yeah.
how old are you now?
22.
22, yeah, 22, yeah, good.
Wow.
So that, unbelievable physique at a very young age. So, and you're doing online coaching now, and you've had a few things happen recently. Do you want to touch on that now, early? I
Yeah.
think we may as well.
May as well.
Yeah.
Who knows like what's it's stemming from? So people that follow me would
Yeah.
know I am undergoing some health issues,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've just been diagnosed with everything like under the sun. And Jake is probably one of the people who I remember speaking to about very early on, like last year. I would message like Jake being like, hey, I don't feel right. Like, is my heart is like above 140. I'd send him photos of like my watch even at
Were
nighttime.
you coaching at one stage?
No,
just build
we were
close
friends.
Close
Okay.
friends, very close.
And Jake would be like, yeah,
friends.
it's not normal. Like maybe like you need some food.
No, but half the time, let's be honest, you just never ate carbs.
Okay,
so
yeah.
she, at the start, it wasn't even health issues. It was more the fact she wasn't eating as much as she should be. I'm like,
I
have
understand.
you tried
Definitely.
eating something? Eat something. Oh, yeah, I feel all right. But
And
that's when it all started out. I
that's
think
what-
it stemmed from a lot.
It did,
from that,
and now I've kind of realized that a lot of it is because of the stress I've put my body on, because I would have never listened to anyone. I liked going hard. I went for hard for years, like would diet to the grounds, like hours of cardio a day. Like, and my thing was like, I need to outwork everyone. But there's a point where it's like, okay, but when you're no longer outworking people and you're being detrimental to yourself, and there's a fine line. And I obviously didn't really realize that. And so the main symptoms sort of started in November of 2023. So it's about like 7-8 months ago now.
Pretty recent.
Yeah, it is pretty recent. And I woke up one day just with like heart palpitations and chest pain. And I thought to myself, I remember Googling, I was like, symptoms of like a heart attack. Are you going to have like, are you going to know you're going to have a heart attack before it happens?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
And I'm Googling and
You've had
it's,
one too, Jake.
yeah, and I'm Googling and I remember I messaged Jake. I was like, hey, before you have a heart attack.
I remember that message too. I was like, to be honest, I didn't feel shit until I was already on the floor. It was fucking gone.
And then I'm thinking, okay, like it may not be that. So anyways, booked a doctor's appointment straight away of having this chest pain for like a week now. I go to the doctors and what do they think at the time of 21-year-olds coming in there with chest pain, heart palpitations, think, oh, you've got anxiety. I'm like, I know it's not anxiety. I'm a bit anxious and I'm going to have a heart attack, but like, I know it's not anxiety causing this. And it continued like this through December and January. And in February, I was with a friend and I actually wasn't supposed to catch up with like anyone that night, but she was having a bit of a down night and she messaged me. She's like, hey, do you mind if I like come over? I was like, sure, pick me up. Let's go for a drive. Then come back to mine and watch a movie. So she picks me up. We go into like the 7-Eleven to just like grab some drinks. Like we grabbed like a Pepsi Max and some water. And I remember I picked it up and I already wasn't feeling well. I had a very thick like heart palpitation. And I stood up and I looked at her and I said, I think I'm about to pass out. And she goes, are you sure? She's like, lie on the floor. And I've never that's never happened to me. So my instinct, I'm in the middle of a busy 7-Eleven. You don't want to lie on a floor in front of people. I'm like, no, I think I'll be okay. And I don't remember anything after that. And then at that point, I remember the ambulance were all around me. And this had been going on for about 20 minutes. I was unconscious. And I wish I didn't remember this part, but it's probably the one thing that will stick to me and like probably haunt me for the rest of my life. And I looked at her and I said, I think I'm about to die. And that's all I felt.
Wow.
And my body was numb. I could see myself like convulsing, but I couldn't feel it happening.
See yourself in the reflection?
No, like I could see because I was lying down, I could like see my body in my chest, like
Yeah.
moving, but I
Yeah.
couldn't feel it happening. And I had like someone next to me, and then I had about 3 ambulances around me.
Wow.
And I was taken to the hospital that night. Stayed overnight.
Wow.
The next day they discharged me, and they said you had an anxiety attack. And I
Misdiagnosed.
yeah, I remember sitting in the hospital. I had no one with me, and I was on the phone to my sister, bawling my eyes out, saying, I'm so fucking scared to leave this place, because if I go home, something's going to happen. And I don't know what to do because they are not taking me seriously here. And I've always been someone, I downplay like when something's wrong too, which is probably not great. So when people ask me how I am, I'm always like, yeah, I'm good, because that's what gets me through. Like, I'm not going to dwell on it. So in the hospital, what I've realized now is you need to like exacerbate your symptoms, like tell them what the fuck's wrong, but you think that they can figure that out too.
I've been there many times. I
And
totally agree.
it's just, you feel defeated by it. And I'm like, am I maybe going insane? And my dad had picked me up from the hospital, and while I was in the car with my dad, I had 3 seizures, and he had never seen this happen. And he's looking at my watch, and my watch is sitting at like 190 while I'm just like sitting in the car. And as a father, he's like, what the fuck do I do?
190, and you're just sitting there.
I'm just sitting there. And it happened 3 times, and I'm an hour out of Melbourne now too, because I was driving to he was driving to his house. So he took me to the hospital, and then at that point, I had over 40 seizures, probably in 3 days.
Wow.
And they obviously kept me in there, and they were trying to find what was wrong. They had then transferred me via ambulance back to Melbourne to do all testing on my brain, all testing on my heart, and everything has come back normal. And they diagnosed me with epilepsy because my sister has it, and it runs in my family. And epilepsy doesn't actually need to come up on a scan. They can just diagnose you with it based off seizures and events. But then as of a month ago, I did just like a table tilt test, which basically they put you on a table, they get you to stand up, they monitor your heart rate and your blood pressure. And they have diagnosed me now, which is a confirmed diagnosis with POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So basically when I sit down and I stand up, to be diagnosed, your heart rate only has to increase by 35 beats per minute. Mine increases well over like 70 beats per minute every time I sit to when I stand.
Just to get up.
And yeah.
Every single time?
I filmed it actually last night on my Instagram, and my heart rate was 50, and then I stood up and I think it went to like 125, just seating to standing. So yeah, usually then my blood isn't in my brain and I can pass out and have a seizure. But I had a doctor say to me last week, hopefully in the next 20 years, they'll have a bit more research done on it so we can find something to help you. So for now, it's just finding what works for me and what doesn't, and yeah, trying to get through the day as positive as I can.
Yeah, massive journey. Good on you for pushing through, and I see your content. You're very positive, and I like some of your stuff. You know, yeah, you're getting some scans done, going through those circular machines.
Yeah.
Do you feel a bit
Thanks for
lost
sharing that
when
with
the
us.
doctor said, like, you've got the next 20 years to hopefully we get some more? Does that make you feel a little bit lost, or and how do you push through that? What?
It's so like, that's what I mean. Like, you sit here and you're like, you're so positive. It was like yesterday I was crying to my friend being like, this fucking sucks, but I still have to turn up and be a positive influence on all my clients and everyone. But there's a big part of me that's just gone, because for the past 5 years I've had a goal of getting a pro card, and now that's like, you can't do that anymore. Like I can't even go to
Can't even
a
go to
gym.
the gym.
Because there's a lot of uncertainty right now.
Yeah.
How do you work around? How do you get around that? You just
Guess.
by
What,
day
like
or?
I sit there and feel sorry for myself. I still have to work. Like I look at the things I am grateful for. I have amazing friends around me. I have a job that I can still do. It's like, God forbid this happen to someone that has a job that you have to turn up to your job and you have to walk around and you have to be there present. Like, I'm lucky that I can work from my laptop. Like, I fucking have my days where it sucks. Like, I can't think of anything that I want to wake up for, because what is my purpose right now? Like, my purpose is to just work and do what I can and take it day by day. I have faith that I'll be okay. I think once you lose that faith is when you lose.
Yeah.
But
Give up
Good
on everything
mindset.
else.
Mindset is everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Very good mindset.
Thanks for sharing that with us. Yeah, I thought maybe you sharing that could give other people a bit of hope going through things with health as well.
Tingling during that when you were speaking. I was like, what is going on? That's very, yeah.
Sorry to hear.
shit.
yeah.
We'll definitely pray for you. I'm a religious family. Moving on from that though, I'm going to cheer you all up a little bit. My freaking stock landed an hour before this podcast. Did you see all my
I
stories?
saw that.
No, but
I couldn't believe it. I was waiting on this women's range. You're here, so I got something for you. And Aiden, I got something for you too. I'm going to give it to you now.
Do you know what's funny? I looked at his story and I saw the singlet. I went to message him. He's like, bro, do you want this singlet before I even message
I'm going to get a
him?
present.
Now, Jake, I've already given you half the stuff because we caught up the other
Yeah, you don't need to give me anything more.
Okay, those are for you.
Thank you, boss.
There's a
Thank you, brother.
new striped what? Because I make the best gym clothes.
Yeah, I should do
I
So
like
the
it, your
navy
clothes.
blue is there, and
Oh, yes.
the black. You've got all the other stuff. Okay.
Beautiful.
More stringers, just what I need.
Thank you. I love this. I promote my brand when I'm on the podcast.
You may as well.
Okay, Jarvis. Got the navy blue pipe for you. Because these sold out so quick. But I got it in black.
Thank you.
I like that color.
But I
That
got this
navy
quarter
blue's
zip
nice.
that I'm wearing now.
Oh yeah.
That's hot. And then I got your compression as well, okay? That's all for you. Enjoy, my friend. Now, Tabby, you're the first girl who's ever got this.
Oh, lucky me.
Okay. So I've been working on this, my women's range, for over 2.5 years now, back and forward. My goal with this was to not make it over-sexualized with the scrunch bum stuff and things. So it's still flattering, but I got you a few sizes of things. I won't go through it all with you now, but there's a couple of things here. So we got some like little bike shorts.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I like that color.
You don't have to promote it or pump it, but I wanted you to have it as a gift for coming onto the show.
Thank you. I
Couple
appreciate
things
that.
here. These I spent ages on designing.
Yeah. Wow.
And what I did was I put the curve on the butt just to make
I need
fun
that.
of it. So there's like there's about 6 or 7 items there, but that's for you. As
I
a gift.
appreciate that. Thank you.
And it's from I wrote it from the team because it's from all of us too, because these boys are kind of my brand as well.
Bless.
So enjoy. If you need changes with sizes,
I'll
let
let you
us
know.
You
Cool.
just whack it on the side there too.
Awesome.
So I was really excited to give you that. My missus said to me, "Gee, it'd be so nice if the stock was in for Tabby." I get home from work, all the boxes are at my front door. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is incredible."
Perfect.
And for
Manifested
me.
it.
Perfect timing.
So say you go, and if some of it's too big or small, just give
Of
it to
course.
family and friends because I got heaps of it.
Thank you.
Now we'll get to the questions because there's a few
do it.
here. So we've got 40 minutes, so let's smash through them. So you've sent these questions in, and we'll all have a little answer with them first. Maybe Jake, you can start. We'll get through these. So question number 1, you ready for this one?
What are you laughing
I
at?
don't even
How
know.
much growth do you take at night? No, I'm kidding.
Not enough.
How do you get the motivation to get up and work every day? I hate what I do, and I can't imagine doing this for the rest of my life. This is someone's question. So they hate what they're doing. How do you get up and get the motivation to get up and work every day?
But so they're getting up to go do something they don't
So
like
look,
to do.
they're obviously doing something they hate
Yeah.
and trying to be motivated for it. So it's like 2 questions in one, really. They said, how do you get the motivation to get up and work every day? And then it says, I hate what I do, and I can't imagine doing this for the rest of my life.
I would
That's a tough
stop
one, isn't
what
it?
you're
'Cause it's-
doing and go do something you enjoy doing for one. And if you can't because there's no funds or something, you need to find motivation in what you're doing to make some money, put it behind you, and then go do something you enjoy. Because if you do something you enjoy, you don't feel like you're working a day in your life. And like I'm pretty sure all 4 of us here do that
Yeah, to a degree.
to a degree. Yeah,
You know when you started your coaching though,
yeah.
you must have made no money at the start. Did you have something
Of
before
course.
that you did? Or was that the first thing you did when you started making money?
Started coaching
Apart from
when I was
being a stripper?
17. No.
You still doing that?
No, it was hard at the start.
Yeah.
It definitely was hard, and especially like before social media. I've been doing this 11, 12 years before
Face to face, yeah.
Yeah, before social media came along, there was nothing like that to promote your business. I was giving free sessions, 10 to 15 free sessions a week, trying to get
Wow.
people in. Yeah, well, that's what you did back in the day to try
Really?
and get people like
Okay.
convert them as clients. Like you worked a lot for free, and I was very unmotivating to do that for a long period of time. But I had a goal. I wanted to succeed in this industry that I'm in. I just kept to it, and every day waking up just wanting to be better than I did the day before.
So when you started you were doing those free sessions,
Yeah.
what motivated you? How did you get the motivation? You saw an end goal?
The end goal was to get busy, and to the
Yeah.
point I didn't have to do those free sessions, and it became word of mouth. But
Yeah.
you have to start grinding at the start. Like you got to start somewhere. So
Because this person hates I can't imagine to keep doing what they're doing every day. I hate what I do and I can't imagine doing this for the rest of my life. Jarvis, what's your answer to that?
Well, first things first, motivation comes and goes in waves. You're not always going to be motivated. You can't teach motivation, but you can teach discipline. And discipline, there's a very good quote by Mike Tyson, doing what you hate doing, but doing it like you love it.
I've seen him say
And
that
I
in
think
social
once
media.
you conquer that, you can overcome anything.
Yeah.
And secondly, if the individual is saying that, I can't get out of bed because I hate doing what I'm doing,
They can't imagine doing what they do. They hate it.
take action. I mean, like the answer is in the question itself. You hate
Exactly.
what you're doing. Why not take action? Do something you love. And like Jake said, when you're doing something you love, you don't feel like you're working. So I think the best thing to do for that individual itself is realize motivation comes and goes. Try and be disciplined, if anything, and do what you enjoy doing. Find something you love. Find your passion, because when you do find your passion, you have purpose. And when you have purpose, I think life gets a lot easier.
Great answer. Tabby?
I think like sometimes you do have to just throw yourself in the deep end. If you truly believe in what you're doing, like I don't think you can fail. And there's this saying that it's like people are jealous of what you have, but they're not jealous of what you've gone through. So we're not all just going to enjoy the process, but you can enjoy the outcome. And it's like at one point we all started from zero, we started from nothing, but because we were doing something that we were passionate about, it was impossible for us to fail. And it's like we're still all on that journey of like self-development and fulfillment to get there. But it's like if you're doing something you constantly hate, you're not going to want to wake up each day. So I totally agree. Like do something you're passionate about. Like yes, you may need the funds there to support what you're doing, but if what you're doing, like keep doing what you're doing. Go and study something else. Go and learn. Like create some hobbies. Like you will eventually get there.
Good answer. Before you all competed, you probably didn't enjoy every single workout, but you got to the end goal and you got on stage.
I should
the
love
discipline's doing what you don't like doing, but doing it like you love it.
Yeah.
My answer to that one, I agree with what all of you said. There's you could also change your perspective when you're at where you're at too. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener. I had a really good job at one stage and I got offered to take another job and I thought it was better, more pay. Hated it. It was actually the worst thing I ever did. Where I was really fine. But there was a saying, I watch a lot of these motivational coaches, and one guy goes, it's a perspective. It's like there's two salespeople. So it's pissing down rain, and this guy goes, man, it's raining. I don't want to knock on any doors. I've got to get soaking wet. The other salesperson goes, it's raining. This is great. Everyone's going to be home. I'm going to speak to a lot of people. So it's a perspective that you create in your own mind. If you can sort of flip it, like I worked at McDonald's and I used to do wash-ups. I washed the dishes every night. No one wanted to do that job. But I actually liked it because what I did was I stuck a little headphone in, I listened to music, I just spray everything down for hours. It's over the time of my life, just eating, and then I get some chicken nuggets, put them in a cup, eat them at the back, no one
I
would
used to
see.
do that too.
Yeah. So like I changed my perspective on those things and I tried to make all the jobs I had, I'm like, how can I flip it to enjoy it and like it? So maybe there's a way that you could be stuck in that job you're in, but if you can try to change your perspective, maybe get to bed a bit earlier, maybe be a bit better at that shit job you're at, work there a bit, and then plan a goal for yourself for the future where you can maybe make a change. Because it's easy to say, hey, just do something, do something you love and chase it.
But how do you get better at something you hate?
But the reality is maybe you can make that thing better and try and get better at it too. Because you guys are a different breed. Three of you, different breed. You're not normal. The three of you, all of us are not normal. We can probably do things a little bit more than the average person. That's why we're on this podcast. But if you can change your perspective and go, hey, you know what? I might try and enjoy that thing a bit more. Maybe that's the way to look at it too. But definitely there's no right or wrong answer to that, but it's up here, I think, as well. Everything really stems from up here. All right, we'll go to the next. I hope that answer was all right. Next question. Okay, this is a great one. The industry that you guys are in, and I'm kind of in it too, in the sales industry, is so saturated with coaches. I want to give up. How do I get more clients? Jarvis.
Upskill, because
When you say upskill,
your
explain
knowledge,
that.
your knowledge. Now, it's a very fine line between having a good balance between, yes, advertising on social media,
Yes.
and advertising yourself as a coach, but at the same time, you have to have the knowledge, because if you get a client, you deliver results. If you deliver results, delivering results is obviously going to attract more clients. Now, it's a lot easier to retain a client and attract a new client. So if you're upskilling as a coach, your retention automatically increases. For me, I haven't onboarded a new client for a while because my retention's significantly high. And if I
Say that
have,
again?
I haven't onboarded a new client for a while because
Yeah.
I'm capped. But if I have, it's an athlete looking to compete.
Yeah.
So I think upskilling is probably your best bet. And secondly, you have to stay in with the times. You got to have a good knowledge of social media. You have to advertise yourself. You got to post content because, like we said, content's king. Not in sight, not in mind. So if you're not posting, you're not being recognized. You have to keep posting daily, weekly, whatever it might be. But at the same time, there's a very fine balance between both. You have to upskill and you got to stay in line with the times.
I'll jump in on this one too. I'm a real estate agent, right? 16 years real estate. Everyone wants to be a real estate agent. I sell a house, I make 20 grand comp. Fucking great, right? There's a lot of agents too. It is quite saturated. Now, even in my area, it's quite saturated. I'm a little bit lucky because I've done it for so long that I shouldn't say this, but people call me all the time now to sell houses. So I get a lot. It's all referrals, thank God, mostly. Do a bit of prospecting. But in the early days, I was knocking on doors for hours. Hours and hours knocking on doors. Letter drops, 1,000 letter drops a week. Anything I could do, anywhere I go, hand a business card out, anything I could possibly do. The burn and turn rate in real estate is extremely high. I'm just stuck at it for a long time. If you're in a sales position too that's competitive, like Jarvis said, you got to really put in more work than the others. I was putting in tremendous amounts of time when I was a sales manager at this office. And the best thing to do is get staff, if you can afford to, get people to work under you. Free up your time, you know what I mean? Because you might spend too much time doing undollar productive activities. Like now, Neverhome's flying.
This is why I buy packet rice.
Yeah.
Time is money.
Exactly. But because I've got my team now, I've got about 40 on the team with Neverhome, right? 40 people.
Jesus.
So many people working with me now. It went from 2, 3, 4, 5 manufacturers, suppliers, the shop, the fit outs, all these things, influencers now. It's got to keep growing. You got to have to scale and kind of build teams if you can. But if you're only starting and you can't afford to build a team, you have to have a fucking extremely ruthless mindset of constant learning, not going out, getting better content, I used to, all my scripts and dialogues, I have a scripts and dialogue session. I record every one. I got one here from 15 years ago. I got all these scripts and dialogues and I record it on the table. The guys are talking. I'm like, all right, I'm going to listen to this. And then the whole day I'd be listening to it. Okay, what do I say now? Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Oh, and I'd role play it over and over in my head, and I got quite good at it. So you have to be relentless. It's competitive. The top 2%, it's hard to get there. I never got there in real estate. I'm trying to do this in Neverhome now. So you have to be relentless and try and keep searching for things that'll make you better. That's real estate, and definitely get coaches to keep leveling up. Tabby, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, well, I think like the industry's saturated, yes, but it's not saturated with good coaches.
With good coaches,
And
yes.
my thing is, I like the fact that it's saturated because it makes me look a little bit better, makes
call.
us look a little bit better because there's
That's like
so many
agents
shitty
too.
ones out there. So I think like what you said, like continue to upskill, yes, keep up with the times. I think whether it's like controversial or not, keep in shape yourself as well. Like show that like you're doing the work too.
Big
I
fact.
do truly, I don't know.
Big believer in that.
I do believe in
100%.
that and I get a lot of backlash from it, but focus on your controllables as well. And yeah, 100% keep up with the times because you're only going to look better. Clients are coming to you for one reason. They're coming to you because they want a result. They're not coming to you for a friendship. So if you can...
Are you friends with your clients?
Yeah, some of them I am, but they didn't come to me because they were like, hey, I want a friend.
Because you're cool though. Like I see you as a cool person. You probably get clients just
People
you're all
want to be
cool.
your friend.
I like to be friends with cool people, right?
Yeah.
Like Gus, he's cool. I want to be mates with him. I'm not going to hang around like I want to hang around cool people with a bit of charisma. I see you as being really cool. You probably get clients coming to you for that alone.
I do think people buy personality as well, though.
Yeah.
That's a
100%.
big thing.
100%.
Yeah.
But
And then
'cause-
if you're like open and you're vulnerable, like us, we're all very ourselves on social media because we're authentic. People do
Yes.
like that. Think you see all these people coming up
Be
and they're
yourself.
trying to copy content, and you're like, it's not original. Why am I going to come to you?
Do you know what's funny? I put up a quote the other day. I made it myself. 3 hours later, another coach put up the same quote.
But I don't think
Not
that's
thinking
bad.
I'm going to say, I don't think it's
that's
bad.
good.
Look, content gets regurgitated regardless.
Someone
Good, it's
copied
a
my
good
whole.
reflection on
It's a
you,
good
man.
reflection,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was
Someone
just
copied
fun.
one of my shoot ideas, had the G-Wagon, the cars, the music. Someone did the exact same thing with the brand. And
Fuck,
Corey,
a shoot with a G-Wagon, no way.
Corey sent it to me, but with the same music. Corey said they're copying. I'm like, man, that's great. I'm inspired.
You've
It's
inspired
Yeah,
someone,
I
100%.
agree.
I like
100%.
that. That's good. Good on them.
But a lot of content when it comes to coaching is just regurgitated in a
It
circle.
is all going to be the same. That's why I'm
Uh,
not going to
there's
claim
you
someone
can't-
stealing my idea
can't,
because
yeah.
we all do the same shit.
It's all-
There's
yeah.
only, there's only so much you can teach.
You can teach,
anyway,
exactly.
but, like as long as you put your own spin on it.
But
Yeah, well,
it's
that's
the
it.
way we teach it as well.
Yeah.
So, but what if you are a good coach and you have not a lot of knowledge, like you say,
Mm-hmm.
he's a good coach? What actually makes a good coach in your industry? Like getting people in shape,
Delivering
right? But what if you don't
results.
have that charisma, or you're like, what if you're just a bookworm or a nerd, but you know everything?
Well, then you got to strip it all back, and you got to rely on what people are actually looking for. And at the end of the day, they're looking for a coach to get them results.
That-
So you need
it's
to
the
start
result.
plastering that on your Instagram. If you don't want to make the reels or be funny or just to be, do things that other people are doing to get
Yeah.
people through the doors, then you need to focus on what they're actually trying to receive as like getting a coach, and that's the results. So for someone who's really struggling in the industry, like you just said, like the question, like with the clients you do have, focus on getting them the best fucking results possible,
Exactly.
like
Word
the
of mouth.
best.
Yeah.
So when they come to your Instagram, they see the results you're posting, they're already going to be intrigued, because at the end of the day, it's all good being like
Quite what if you
funny
don't-
and
yeah.
like everything on Instagram, making reels and stuff. But if you're not
Can you
delivering the
transform
results
them?
behind it, like they don't last long with those coaches. They don't. They'll end up finding someone like me, Tabby or Jarvis.
But
who
also,
do all-
I think like appeal to a niche
yeah.
because
And
like,
yeah, I think that's important. Oh, you finish what your answer to, then we'll go to you as well.
sorry, but yeah, even like with me, if I'm looking for a coach, I don't care if my coach is
Do
funny.
you do men?
No.
Only
I have a
females?
very but as well with that, like I lead on to the vulnerability of like girls that are getting into the industry. They've never had a coach. They want to get into bodybuilding and compete, but they don't know
Maybe
anything
coach
about
my
it.
girlfriend.
No, maybe. Yeah.
Get you to coach
Sign
her.
up. But yeah, I think like have your niche and stick with that as well. Don't try and go with absolutely everyone under the sun.
Okay, because you guys you're booty man. That's what I know you as. Like you're got a
I'll
good
go with that. I'll go with that.
specialist.
Most of the clients are girls who
They're
come for a
good
big
glute
ass.
specialists. You're
work
you're
at
probably a
Men's
glute specialist in your own way too. But I think you're just your specialist is getting females in the best shape of their life.
Yes.
And I've seen you getting girls on stage.
JC
And
actually
Jarvis?
sponsors Men's Gallery.
So, yeah.
Jake sponsors Men's Gallery.
No, that's what he said.
What's Men's Gallery?
I don't know.
Sorry,
I don't know either.
I don't know. And Jarvis is you do kind of all male, but specialise in bodybuilding.
I'm heading down, mainly competitive athletes now because I've been doing it for a long time. And
So Jake, I'm gonna your answer to this question. So it's highly saturated, this industry.
Oh, I pretty much answered it anyway, just saying I'd strip everything back.
Yeah.
And like, if you're like, just with the clients you do have, focus on getting them the best results possible. And that's where every good coach should start, would start anyway, just focusing on results. Because like I said, if someone's looking for a coach, it's because they want to change.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the first thing they look for anyway, if they're smart.
It's kind of like me in the apparel industry too. I'm in the gym every day, multiple gyms. I'm seeing people. I'm trying the clothes on. I wear it every day, and I'm living and breathing it, pulling things, testing the fabrics out. I'm actually doing it as well and sensing it. I think if you've all competed, I think that's very powerful to say you've done that too. Which we mentioned on the last podcast. Let's keep moving on. There's a few more questions. And this is a full-on one, but it's pretty deep. I've been there before. How do you deal with depression and low self-esteem? Have you ever had depression before, guys? I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you want to answer this one first, Tabby? Is that all right?
Yeah, I think
Get the guns out, please.
Yeah, no, I think if someone's struggling with depression, anxiety, I think go through it. Like feel the
through it.
fucking feels and
Ooh,
allow
yeah.
yourself to go through it. Because if you don't want to acknowledge that that's what you're going through and you don't want to accept it, I think self-awareness is key. So acknowledge what you're going through, allow yourself to feel the emotions, because I think emotion is everything, and be vulnerable about your circumstance as well. And that's the only way you're going to be able to overcome it, by actually being self-aware about what you're going through. Because we're all going to go through something shit in our lives. Every person sitting next to me, every person I've ever encountered with has gone through something. Whether it's to one extreme or not, you can't compare your circumstance to someone else. Everyone's
said.
threshold is different. But allow yourself to feel the feels and know that it's okay as well.
Well, we're all probably battling our own demons behind the podcast as well. And everyone's got something going on. Good answer. Big arms?
Sorry, what was the question again? I was taking my jump.
I wouldn't have depression if I had your arm. I would die happy. Give me the poison cordial.
I'd have a
I'll
pro
swap
out
your
of it.
legs. I'll take
Give
your
me the
legs
poison
any day of the
cordial.
week.
Jarvis, how do you answer that one there? So how do you deal with depression and low self-esteem? Or advice for someone who's going through that?
To be honest, from someone I've never really suffered depression. I've never really had low self-esteem, but
Fuck, you
a
like
bit of a hard question for me, to be honest. I'm a very positive person. I'm very grateful for my life. I honestly think I live the best life, but how do you deal with depression?
Wow.
Me personally, I resort to fitness.
Yeah.
It all draws back
good
to
answer.
fitness. Like I said, if I'm physically fit, I'm mentally fit. If I'm physically on point, I'm mentally on point. So for me, dealing with depression, I'll just get straight back into the gym, focus on your nutrition, focus on your training, start focusing on the variables within your control, and the rest will take care of itself. I'm a big believer in that. But for someone that, I haven't really suffered depression before. I've never really had low self-esteem before. Maybe as a kid, I was actually growing up as a kid, my nickname was Fat Boy, so I was a chubby kid. Yeah, believe it or not, I was actually a very
You did
chubby
tell
kid.
me this, I forgot, yeah.
And it got to me a lot. And I think that's what personally got me into the gym in the first place, was I wanted to make a change, and so I did. And I haven't looked back since. But I think for me, drawing back to the fitness is how I'd probably deal with depression and low self-esteem.
Yeah. Some people can't go to the fitness though, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it's not made for everyone.
Yeah,
So.
but that's what you would do. Big boy? Beauty man?
It's a hard one because you got to watch what.
It's a hard question.
Well, we can
First,
say whatever
you,
the fuck you want.
yeah, you can use depression in your favor and use it as a fire to like do something you really want to do as well. Like, but first of all, when it comes to depression, like obviously it's something you're doing wrong internally too. So you need to have a conversation with yourself and what's going on and what issues are you doing for you to be in this situation. Because at the end of the day, you're depressed, you put yourself in a situation. Right? No one makes you depressed. Well, you can, but you can control it otherwise.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But you can use that as well. Like, okay, I'm depressed. What can I do to get out of this and make sure I never do that again? But it's a really hard question to answer because you could have 100 different answers. It's like, for me personally, like Jarvis, like I deal with depression or just like anything that's going wrong in my life. Gym's like my outlet. Like, if I didn't have gym, I don't even think I'd be here.
I don't even know what I want to be.
Yeah, it would be my outlet, but you need to find something that's your outlet. It might not be gym. So something that's going to make you feel better about yourself. And once you're done doing that activity, whether it's shopping, whatever it is, and you get a bit of endorphins, like you're going to feel a lot better. But then it's only masking the problem. So you need to like look a little bit deeper on why you're depressed and how to fix it. But then again, there's 100 different answers to that
And
as well.
sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't know either. And I don't think it's something that, a bit against that, I don't think it's something that's always internal as well, and it's something you can fix yourself, because I know for me, like I was brought up in an environment that was quite abusive, and when I was like below the age of 16, there was no way for me to actually get out of that environment, and it was purely my environment which was impacting how I felt. I was very aware of how I felt. I knew what needed to be done, but I was incapable of doing anything about it due to my age. And I think that's why I want to help people who were going through sort of what I have been going through and learning how we can go about it without going to a gym. I wasn't able to really go to a gym when I was super young either. I wasn't able to get out of my environment. So it was working on mindset development and just being vulnerable with someone, even if that's speaking to someone.
I'm a big believer as well. Everyone's good at something. No matter who you are, you're good at something, but you have to unlock it and you have to find it. And when you're good at something, you enjoy doing it. So when you enjoy doing it, I think it does
You're not
bring
gonna
a
be
sense
I
of
agree
You're
with
not gonna
that.
feel as
Yeah, I
depressed,
agree.
Yeah, it brings a sense of
Yeah.
fulfillment. So probably find something you enjoy doing and pursue it.
When I was a kid, I used to love drawing. I would have books and I just draw. I just draw pictures. Still got them. I love drawing. If you can't do anything, just sit there and draw. Let your imagination run wild. Who knows? You know, on that one too, my mate called me up 2 days ago. He goes, hey Johnny, I'm in a bad place. I'm really struggling, a bit suicidal. What do I do? Called him up, spoke to him for 40 minutes. Girlfriend left him, and he hit rock bottom real bad. And I said, bro, he goes, I can't get to the gym. It's been 6 weeks. I can't get to the fucking gym. This guy's a fitness fanatic, but he's going to marry this chick. I said, bro, she's left you over this fight you've had. It was never meant to be. You got to you got to man up here. Bro, like I'm telling you, she's ever going to get back with you. Get back in the fucking gym tonight. And he went that night and he messaged me and goes, I feel better. Sometimes you have to man up a bit. Stop being a pussy. And you have to fucking take some responsibility. You can sit there and feel sorry for yourself and be like, fuck, I'm a loser, this and that. No one gives a fuck. Your parents will. No, everyone gets over it. Because I was there. I was there at rock bottom and my mates are going, you're a fucking loser, blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to hear it at the time, but they're actually right. And I pulled myself out of it and I got back on top. I said to myself,
I agree with that.
it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's hard pill to swallow. I'm like, feel sorry for me. I need love. But I was being a piece of shit. I was doing drugs, doing the wrong things. Cut out all the drugs, cut out all this, went back to the gym, and I slowly got better. And one thing I still do now is I see a psychologist.
Yeah.
Go to your GP, get a mental health plan. You get 10
Free sessions.
free sessions or like credits towards sessions. Mine is still free. Find a psychologist. I had to see about 5 till I found Priscilla, who I speak to now. Every 6 weeks, I see her. We speak for an hour. Good or bad, I tell her what my issues are, and she helped me work through these things. So I had a professional. No harm. I'm on top of the world. My life's so fucking good right now, and I still see a psychologist just to safeguard myself. Because you know what? I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? You know what I mean? So definitely speak to someone. There's no shame in it. I openly still see a psychologist to this day, and she was really good. I'd say, Priscilla, I've got a work function coming up. There's going to be coke there. There's going to be girls. There's going to be alcohol. What do I do? Because once I go down that road, I'm just rolling. I'm going. I don't stop. You know, like I'm a fucking animal because I do things full on. So she said, okay, Johnny, here's the game plan. You have your meal prior, and then what you do is, because you're responsible, you just tell everyone you're going to drive into the event. So I drive into the event, don't go in the limo, won't drink. Then when I'm there, wait till everyone's smashed, smoke bomb it, get the fuck out. So I did that. And then I go, hey, did it? She goes, well done. I'm like, I felt like, I did it. Then I just got that habit of just being a bit more disciplined. But I had to man the fuck up and actually take control.
Learning to say
life
no.
goes on.
Yeah,
Learning to
like
say no is a big
you
one.
can sit there and be a sad fucking loser, whacking off to Pornhub and eating cheezels. That's going to be your life. Like you have to kind of step up and go, hey, you know what, I'm going to do something. And that's what you have to do and see a psychologist. But maybe that's another way to look at it.
That's good. I think a lot of males are scared to open up about that kind of things. No male. Everyone wants to have alpha male in them, you know? Oh, I'm not talking to someone. I'm going to see a psychologist.
Bro, I'm the
I think
sickest
everyone
cunt
should.
you've ever met.
Everyone, yeah.
I don't think my life
psychologist.
leveled up to where it was now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Male
You
or
still see
female.
someone? You see someone too?
100%.
There's nothing
there you
wrong
go.
with talking
Yeah.
to someone.
So if you're watching this and you're like a bit insecure, I see someone. Jake does.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do too, 100%.
Oh, so all of us do. There you
Yeah,
go. And
guaranteed.
we are the fucking anything but macros crew. And I actually referred Gus to see someone as well. He's like, I don't want to speak to him. I'm like, bro, Gus, I hope you don't mind me saying this. Go speak to someone, yeah. No shame in it.
There's no shame.
Because this world is throwing so much shit at you on social media. Like, it kind of
I look
fucks with
forward
you.
to my sessions.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like even now, like I'm sort of like my life's peaking at the moment, but I
is it
still
a 3-day
every
session
month I see mine,
Yeah.
and literally it's just refreshing just to know I'm still on the right track, or if
I'm-
I need a little tweak here and there, like it's good. Like
Good on you, man. I'm glad that we could all actually say we do that. 'Cause people would look at us and judge us straight away. Oh, he's fucking fit. Fuck them. They're fit.
100%.
Fuck them.
They're
I
arrogant.
used to get that all the
They got
time.
big
People hate
egos.
me
Yeah.
because I'm fit.
But it's like we work in our bodies. You think we're not going to work in our minds?
Thank you.
a lot of people don't. That's the
100%.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the fittest people are the most humblest. You find
Word.
that? Yeah.
I believe that, yeah.
You'll be surprised, you know. Look at Tabby and go, look at who's this chick thinks she is. Like, but she's actually really nice. All right, we're running out of time, guys. So we've got to speed this up. Okay. Here's a good one. We're all running our own businesses. I've been running a business for over 2 years and I don't seem to be progressing. Any tips? I just feel like I've hit rock bottom with my relationship, life and gym. I've been resorting to drugs a lot. What should I do? So this person's been in this business for 2 years.
I think it's two separate questions.
Oh,
You can
is
combine
it?
it into one. It was.
Okay. Oh, sorry, you're right. Let's go cut that back. Been running my business for 2 years and I don't seem to be progressing. Any tips?
What have you changed since you first started the business? It's like be different,
Mm-hmm.
be yourself. And I tell everyone be different, but it's very cliche.
Be
but
different to what you're currently doing or different to
be
others?
different to everyone else. Clearly, if your
Yeah.
business isn't growing, it's because people are going somewhere else. People need that service or need whatever you're doing, right? They're clearly going somewhere else. So what do you need to change to be on par or be above wherever everyone else is going?
What have you done different in your business to stand out? Can you disclose some of those things? Or?
It's a very hard thing. Like so many people come to me asking for business advice and how I scaled my business. And it's like, I be myself, I be authentic, I create change, I create difference, I post content, I keep up with the times, I'm knowledgeable. It's not one thing that I do and I can't give you one tip. I can't sit there down with someone for 10 minutes and give them business advice because this is just all the little things I've gathered over the past like 4 years of coaching that's helped me get to where I want to be.
Just pause. If you're watching this, you're earning about 50 grand a month in coaching or more now?
My best month has been 55, but I earn on average just over 40.
So 40 grand a month. So you make about $500,000 a year as an online coach. Very, very good wage, right?
At 22, it's very good.
At 22 years old. At 22 years old, I was earning 35, 40 grand, knocking on doors 6 days a week as real estate. That's how much he's killing it. So did you change things a lot as a business was growing, you're getting online?
Yes, I did. But that's because when I first started, like I was saying before, online coaching wasn't a thing. We didn't have systems. We didn't have templates. We didn't have it's social media. It wasn't as big as what it is now.
Yeah.
So I had to evolve with the times too and not allow myself to slack off because yes, things were working great for me in the first like year of coaching. But then the year after that, when everyone else is an online coach too, they're like, oh shit, well, what do I do now? It's like, okay, well, keep doing what I'm good at and keep being myself because you can't fake being yourself. You can't wake up one day and things have changed. If I continue to work on myself and be who I am, then people are always going to be attracted to that. So I've developed a community that think they understand me because I put my life out there and people love a relationship. People love being tied to you. And same as what you said, like that longevity with a client, they would stay with you because they feel like they've developed a relationship with you. And so I think it's about communication, about being able to develop connection with other people. And yeah, your business will grow if you continue to work on those things, work on yourself.
So 2 years in isn't very long.
No, it's really
I'm
not.
a decade in on the brand and I just keep fucking up.
That's the first thing I was going to say. It's like 2 years
Yeah.
into your business,
2 years.
like
2 years, but that's
like
two
I'm
years.
peaking now. I'm 12. You
Yeah,
know, like
that's
it's
right.
going to take time. You got to be consistent. Like my answer would be, you got to be a lot more like just consistent. Like you're gonna have you're gonna have weeks where you're down. You're gonna have weeks where you're up. Like it's just about being consistent. Like Tabby's saying, being yourself. Because like, I can see from the outside looking at Tabby's stuff. She is herself, and she is so sure of herself that like it just draws me to watching her stuff. You know what I mean? Like you need to be sure of yourself.
Should ask you out on a date, mate. They've already done that.
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. I'm just stirring the pot. No, very well said. Very well said. Jarvis?
Well, I think, like Jake was saying, 2 years is really not a long time, but you need to keep being persistent because there's a pretty good analogy about the man treading in the ocean. The man in the ocean, sorry. And if a man's treading water, yeah, he's staying at the top. If you stop treading, what happens? You sink to the bottom. If you've hit rock bottom, it's very hard to work your way back up to the top. If you tread for long enough, I think eventually you learn how to swim. If you learn how to swim, you start moving forward. So I think when you're persistent for long enough in business and you're being real to yourself, you're giving it 110%, eventually at some point you will start succeeding. It may take 5 years, may take 10 years, 12, whatever, however long it might be. You need to keep being persistent
Can't
because
fail if you don't
nothing
give up.
happens overnight. Yeah, that's right. You can't fail.
You're
if you
never
don't
going to
give up.
fail if you don't give up.
Exactly.
Yeah, you only fail when you give up. So, my answer is 2 years is nothing. I think you're watching too much gurus on social media making it quick, but sometimes things take a bit of time. There's unicorns out there, but generally it takes a bit of time, and you got to put your 10,000 hours in. Do you know what I mean?
You get out what you put in. So
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I work so fucking hard right now. Like, you got no idea. And no, I don't even tell people. I work my ass off, and I know at the back of my head, fucking not many people are going to do this. Like I'm working so hard. This thing has to fucking work. Every minute I'm awake, I'm doing some type of work.
There's no plan B.
I'm just fucking working my ass off. And if you have that attitude, just keep working. Like it's going to have to eventually crack
100%.
for you. And even now, like we're all on this journey, right? You know, I think to myself that sometimes I'm at the destination now. It's the journey. You got to fucking realize that, hey, we're in our youth. We're all fucking good looking people. This is the destination here. It's like there is no destination. The journey is the destination. Kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, like just go, fuck, we're doing this is great. We're sitting here 4 mates. Yeah. We're doing a podcast. People got to watch this. Like you're always looking like, what's next? What's next? Embrace where you're at and what you've done.
Enjoy the journey too.
People need to be a lot more process driven than they are results driven.
Yeah.
Like right now in my journey, like I know I'm going to be in the house of my dreams, family of my dreams, car of my dreams. I know because the work I'm putting in now, and I'm loving the fact of how hard I'm working at the moment.
Are you enjoying it now too, though?
I do 100%. I enjoy it because I know it's molding me in the person I'm going to become. And I see it every day. I wake up thinking, fuck, I'm proud of what I did yesterday. Let's do it again today. Because like I can see myself changing into the person I want to become daily. And it excites me. And I'm going to look back at it one day and be like, that kid was so fucking eager to be good. Like nothing was going to stop him. And like, I can feel it. You know, when you just like, you know it's coming and because you're putting in that work.
Yeah.
Like
Just,
it's coming.
that
I know, that's where I'm at now. And I enjoy it.
Self-belief.
We all got that.
100%.
Yeah.
Because they say too, they're like an overnight success is 10 years in the making. And it's so fucking true. Like 100%. You don't wake up one day being like, I have made it. So you got to wake up each day knowing, I've enjoyed what I'm doing. I love what I'm working towards because there's not a day where you feel absolutely fulfilled. So you just got to enjoy each day as it comes.
Enjoy
I
the
feel
work.
fulfilled in the work I do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I got to be like, fuck. Another step closer than I was yesterday.
I was dropping Gus stuff off at 11:30 last night for his trip, 11:30 p.m. and finalising orders to get it to his thing. And I was getting home at midnight, right? And then I fucked around for a bit. I'm like, shit, I'm pretty tired. I was so tired driving to Malvern East to drop this stuff off, the compression stuff for his trip. But I thought I had to do it because he's flying out 4:30 this morning. I said to myself, I'm doing these constant long hours. Like no one's seeing what I'm doing. But I know, like, and I was smiling. I'm tired. I'm like, this is great. This is good because I'm putting in the work. It's it's definitely paying off. And then God put the package on my door, and I get to give it to Tabby. You know what I mean? She gets to enjoy my hard work for the last 10 years, and she might like the clothes. So it's all just it's happening. So 2 years, shut the fuck up and give it some more time. All right, seriously, it's ridiculous. Sorry, that's
This guy's just getting fucking
Poor
grilled.
Josh just got roasted.
It's like I'm never
fucking
answering a
heard it
question
yourself,
again.
mate.
Everyone wants to get rich too quick. Go buy a lotto ticket. Okay. Let's move on a little bit more. So the next question I thought was part of that was, I feel like I've hit rock bottom with my relationship, life, gym. I've been resorting to drugs a lot. What do you do? Well, I'll answer that. Stop the drugs. Get rid of these shit friends. Isolate yourself and buckle up and put your head down and work. That's pretty much it. Take some responsibility.
But do you think it's as easy as saying that?
No, it's definitely not.
It's not.
No,
But you have to believe in
it's
yourself.
It's no way as easy as that. But that's what I had to do personally. It was I was hanging around a lot of drug addicts, and if I had a bad relationship that was with the girl in the past, fuck, I was in those for a while. It's a struggle to get out of them. So yeah, maybe you can answer that one. It's not that easy.
I see. My thing is, I actually really struggle to answer that question because I can't say I've had a bad relationship or I've been in anything where I've been obsessive, and I actually really struggle to answer that because I haven't been in that position.
What would you do though?
I think like find a purpose. I think environment is everything as well. Look at the people who you're surrounding yourself with. We've all heard it. Like you're a product of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Are these people uplifting you? Are they motivating you? Do they want to see you win? Like how often, and we probably all experience it as well, like a friend that's jealous of you and what you have, or a friend that like, it's like, is that really a friend? Like someone who's not proud and they're not acknowledging like your efforts and your intentions as well and your successes.
Do you feel that's happened to you now? You've just bought a house. You bought a house recently.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Like the amount of friends I have now, I can count on one hand. I honestly can.
Got 3.
Thank you. Now I can use my other hand. But
And Jarvis is big boys here too. They're bodyguards.
Perfect.
I don't think she needs that.
But 100%, like when I left school with no friends, and it wasn't it was just because I didn't want that. It wasn't for my growth. Even to this day, I don't care what people say about family. Like I don't speak to or really any of my family, because it's not an environment that I was able to stay around with if I wanted to be where I wanted to be.
Sorry to hear.
Things may change, and that's okay. But I love the people that are around me now. I feel like that's supporting me, and that's just what I would say to someone going through that. Like, fucking look at your environment and get yourself out of the shit. If you have to be alone, be alone.
Yeah, environment is so it's so crucial. Jarvis,
Because you are who you hang around. Your circle matters. So surrounding yourself with like-minded people that are succeeding, eventually you're going to succeed.
hard to get in those groups though.
It is very hard.
Yeah.
That was
Can't
my
just be
next
like, I'm
kind
going
of
to hang
statement.
around Jake now, booty man, get around some big asses. It's not that easy.
You know what they
You
say,
can't
they
just
say,
slide Jake
surround
DMs
yourself
and
I've
be
been
like-
trying.
It's so humble.
Hasn't
I like-
rubbed off on Tabby yet. We get
I like it.
well, it actually needs the help that you need to actually be training.
Yeah.
He was with me last week training my glutes. If you got a big finger though, I'll tell you what. Hey, we don't have much time, so I'm going to whip through the last few questions, guys, if that's
Go for it.
okay, because we've a really good podcast, by the way. I know people are going to like this. We've kind of answered this one last week, but I might skip that one. It was about handling a fight with it. If you're having a fight or conflict with someone.
Oh, we did enough of
We
that.
kind of did that one already. Here's a one that is a little bit more lighthearted. This has been a deep podcast. Do you have any hobbies or things you like to do outside of the gym? I used to love playing video games. I was a big video game head. I stopped that now because I don't have time for it. There's nothing I really do. I just work. I've literally.
Seriously, I
I'm
think if
trying
you
to
ask
think.
all of us,
Yeah, I
all
think
of us
we
would
all
Yeah,
work.
I don't have time for like another hobby.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm spending time doing another hobby, I'm like, well, I may as well be doing some work.
If it doesn't benefit me, I'm really not going to be doing
Yeah,
it.
and we all
yeah.
really enjoy work.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend and I'm consciously trying to give her some more time. You know, one time she said to me, babe, sorry, babe, I've got to, it's not this.
Gaslight you.
No, she's like, hey, we got to go to say kia ora one day, look at the little, you know, those little stands and shit, and like where they sell stuff. I'm like, fuck, all right, I'll do it. So fucking good. Sorry, babe. I go there. We're like walking around saying kia ora, and I'm walking around these little stands and they're selling like earrings and things. I'm like, babe, I can't do this. I can't fucking be here now. I could be working. This is the biggest waste of my time. She goes, we'll never do it again. Don't stress. But I'm trying to spend more time with her. So we went to the movies the other night. We went and saw Bad Boys. I had a nap prior, because I always fall asleep in the movies. I watched Bad Boys, had my phone on flight mode, and I actually had a laugh. And that was really good couple hours for me and the missus. So that was kind of nice. But apart from that, I think you need to have a little bit of downtime.
You do. And I think back to what we said last podcast about being present in what you do.
Be present, yeah.
And what you're doing. So, for example, if you're focusing on Neverhome, be present on Neverhome. If you're with your missus, be present with your missus. I think that's going to be
Yeah,
how
sometimes
you work
you're
around
like
that.
thinking about work or the next.
But it's very hard for us to
Yeah.
shut off. You're somewhere else and you're constantly
don't.
thinking, what do
Do you
I
have
need to
any?
do?
Do you have any downtime yourself?
No, and I was struggling with that literally yesterday because I was having a flare up for like the past 4 days, and I thought to myself, like, I'm having a flare up, but yes, great, I can take a day off work, but then it's been 4 days now. Okay, well, I can't take 4 days off work because now it's Tuesday, so I've got to catch up on all of 4 days' work, and I got to do that today. So I'm stressed. Like, yes, we can take a day off if we want to. Like, I'm grateful for my job, but there's really no off time because even when I'm trying to have downtime, I'm thinking, this is an hour, I'm missing out on all these check-ins that are just coming through.
It's a tough one for you.
I had my first, like I said to you
Yeah,
guys, I had
and
my
if you-
first
and you-
day
if
off yesterday.
Yeah, you said that, didn't
And you
you?
got to catch up on that
January.
today.
The anxiety I had going to bed, waking up to what my
Yeah.
WhatsApp was going to look like this morning was fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
But never again. I don't give a fuck if I'm fucking. Mate, I was getting my fucking my hair implants done.
And you're
I was
working.
fucking working while they're
Yeah.
pulling that shit out of the back of my head.
Is it too much? Are we doing too much though? Are we all just fucked in the head just trying to work too
Nah,
much? Or like,
because-
is there
No,
I think we
relax when
just
I'm
hold
rich, man.
ourselves to a high standard.
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Like I am the one who chooses to go to bed every night with everything replied to. I choose to do that. I know some coaches that don't reply to their clients for weeks or for a week or 2 weeks.
That gives me
crazy.
anxiety. Fuck.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
I go to bed every night with everything replied to, but I hold myself to that standard. And I think we all do.
Good on you.
Yeah, we definitely do. That's. I think we should have all of us. We should do something for a couple hours one day to chill. I'll organise an event. I'll speak to Harry. We'll do something fun. We get a helicopter. Okay. Last question, and then we'll wrap it up because we're actually running out of time. So this is a really good question. Have you ever dealt with a thing called imposter syndrome? And how did you deal with it if you did, or how would you best deal with it? So imposter syndrome, I think what it means is it's when you don't feel like you belong in a certain field that you're in, like you're not good enough, or you shouldn't be there because you're not quite at that level, or you're not confident enough, or you don't look the part, or is that a good explanation of it? Yeah, I think that's what it means. Like you are an imposter. Like who's this imposter? Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Or like as a coach, for instance, like are you good enough to be that coach? Do you have enough information? I wanted to write a book for a while. I said, actually, I've had it because I didn't think I was good enough to write a book. I've had so many, slept on the roof, run from the cops, off my head. It was raining and I was on the roof of a house, some random house. That should be in a book, but I still didn't think it was good enough. But I can probably do that. So I'm dealing with that now to write this book, you know. I've written pages of it, so I don't know, maybe you just have to get to that level. How do you answer that one? It's a hard one.
I think it's self-worth as well. I haven't personally experienced imposter syndrome, but that's because I back myself as well. I have gone into the industry. At the point, never competed, never really got transformations, but I knew that I could. So I'm going to put it out there as if I am the best. And I always say to myself, okay, in my head, I repeat to myself, I am the standard and I want to be the standard. I want to be what other people compare themselves to. So I'm going to put that out there. And it's like that concept of fake it till you make it. Maybe that sounds bad, but I think you sort of got to at some point.
No, everyone
does.
I think it's fine.
Jarvis, you just have massive arms. You walk through life just.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever had imposter syndrome because I'm truly confident in who I am, and I believe in myself. I think it all starts with self-belief, because if you don't believe in yourself, like I was saying, no one's going to believe in you. Yeah. So I think having self-belief is a big factor, but at the same time being confident in what you're doing. Because if you're not confident in what you're doing, you're going to doubt yourself, and doubt is going to kill success faster than anything else.
What if you are a flop though and you're trying to do something you shouldn't be there?
Well, fake it till you make it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It doesn't matter.
What if you're a flop? There's some flops out there.
And there is, but you're not going to be perfect at everything. And I think at some stage as well,
there's a lot of flops, right?
You learn from your mistakes.
a flop,
You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And you got to go through the mistakes in order to be able to move forward. No one's perfect.
I think Jake's perfect in my eyes.
Yeah, 100%.
Same.
You ever had imposter syndrome as a coach coming up? No. Yeah.
Because if you're not backing yourself and you don't tell yourself that you're the best, no one else is.
Keep behind the scenes. Say that again.
Nah, fuck no.
Come on, go. No. Seriously, if you don't tell yourself you're the best, go on.
I'm not saying that again.
do it.
Just do it.
I've actually.
But I'll tell you why I know you're good, because when you took me through the glute thing, you made me change my feet, and my ass got pumped, bro.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, no wonder this guy's getting a lot of clients. And that was a painful set. One set on my glutes, remember? Bang, 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 bang. Like, oh, okay, now it makes sense why these girls have big asses. But you know your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to that, if like I said, if you don't believe yourself that you're the best, no one else is going to. Especially you need to see yourself and where you want to become, to actually get there. If you think you're not supposed to be in this situation where you're in right now and you're not good enough, then it's you're not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
You're not. You need to believe in yourself, and like Jarvis and Tabby said, you sort of do need to fake it till you make it to a certain extent. If you don't, you need at least try.
At least
try.
Yeah.
You gotta. There's no harm in trying. You fail, go try again. Try again, fail. Try again, fail. Until one day you won, and then you'll look back and be like, "Fuck, I did
Those
it."
failures got you there.
Yeah.
No, well done. We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much, Tabby, for coming on. I think that was very inspiring. Such a successful young woman, killing it. So well done.
Thank you.
Jarvis, dream arms. We need to do a YouTube video on your arm routine.
Oh, shut up.
Mr. Booty, the one and only. Thank you. So guys, thank you very much. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up? That's pretty much it.
No, that's pretty much
We'll
it.
get Tabby on again if you can, and maybe in like
Sure.
a couple of months for another episode if you like. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you got something out of that one. That was Anything But Macros. We'll see you on the next podcast. Thanks so much. Peace.